Welcome back to the GSL Up and Down matches. We have a potential of 6 more games to be played. Right now, Maru and Curious leading the group.
Exactly, they do, and... Well, actually, they... Oh, you're right, sorry.
Well, I mean, just because some other players haven't played yet, basically. Like, I mean, they could potentially be tied up.
No, all the players have 3 games so far, so Maru and Curious, they are indeed leading the group, and the next game will be really important because for Bomber, it's either winning the map or being a Code A player next season. If he loses here, he will be 1-3, and with 1-3 it is impossible, or it will be impossible to get out of the group because Maru and Curious will have 3 wins.
This group has, I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed in Alive's play so far today. Like, I'm a little bit surprised that he's 1-2 here. Like, he got kind of unlucky in 2 of his losses in some ways. His game against Ben especially. But we'll see. I
have a pretty... Sorry to cut you off there. Just finish your thought.
Well, basically, I'm just like, I'm thinking that this group is one of the closer groups we've ever had. I mean, we had a 4-way tie already here, and we had no clear favorites really in this group, I felt like. I mean, that's how I felt. I thought maybe for sure Maru would get out, and everything else I was like, well, I don't know. Go ahead, though.
We talked about how much money you actually would have to pay for a match, and I got a tweet at Kaldor. It's S-Jochems or S-Jochems, I don't know. But apparently, I don't know where he got his data from, but he says that watching a match in the GSL Code S, Code A is 8 cents for Light Pass, 13 cents for Premium, and 18 cents for Premium Plus.
Wow. That's a good stat, man.
The up and downs are apparently 75 matches, Code S 67, and Code A 52 matches. So, yeah, thanks for doing the math. I don't know where exactly he got the data from, but still, don't forget that there are other tournaments as well. I don't think that he included GSTL here. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, he didn't include GSTL.
Yeah, and I think he did included only best of 3s, but not actual individual games. Think about that.
If you actually, I think it makes more sense if you put it into relation to the monthly subscription, because that's when you get all the content. But yeah, that also already shows that GSL is just insane. And insane is going to be this Terran versus Terran. We have now Maru against Bomber to the bottom of the map in orange. The StarTale player, it is
StarTale Bomber.
We have Metropolis now, and Maru is starting to the right side of the map. He will, if he wins now, he's in a very good position, and for Bomber, this is the match that really counts. He needs to win it if he wants to have a chance to advance to Code S.
If Bomber loses, he has no chance.
Exactly, and he's up against a very strong Terran player.
And
he's
even if
up
Bomber
against
wins,
the Marine Prince, he's up against.
Even if Bomber wins, it's not up to him.
Maru Pro.
Sorry, I messed that intro up, but it's not up to him whether he gets out, because certain people have to win and lose for him to get out.
Exactly.
Things to tie up for him.
Bomber can get 3-2 if he wins against Maru, and if he wins against Alive, then he will be on 3-2. But he has losses against Puzzle, and well, the loss against Curious could matter later on. But if he's tied with Curious or Puzzle later in order to get the second or the first spot in the group, then he will not advance. So that's something that we have to keep in mind as well. That's just a lot of potential scenarios.
Yeah. As always, up and down matches.
Yeah.
Pretty tough to follow, but Kaldor's on top of it. You'd see gas first for Maru coming down here, which will be scouted now by Bomber's SPV. He blocked his ramp as well, so Maru will not be able to see what's going on with his SCV scout when he arrives. They'll realize there's a double depot wall. This is going to be a very normal timed gas for Bomber, though.
We have close air positions as well, and with the close air positions, there's always the potential danger of Banshees, drop play. There are just a lot of things that you can pull off. Maru already with his factory, and he's getting double gas now.
This build from Maru, if he goes for Cloak, or even just Banshees in general, he's going to struggle against Bomber's build because Bomber has gotten his gas in normal time. He should be able to have a Viking out in time, even if he makes his command center first before factory, which he's done here. So we'll see if he can pull this off. Even with good control, if your opponent has a Viking out, your Banshees don't do a lot of damage, and then you get behind because your opponent has a faster command center. Looks like we're going to see Blue Flame, though, rushed out here. No, he's going to make the starport there. Whenever I see that lift, I'm like, Blue Flame rush? No.
It's just the fastest Banshee that you can possibly get.
Well
Yeah, he
done.
really wants to have this Banshee, and he's getting a ton of gas right now. He will probably lead with the Banshee and then with a... Well, actually, I don't know. It depends on what exactly he wants to do. If you start with the Banshee, then you will arrive at your opponent's main base without the cloak. You have to micro units correctly, but you can also just try to rely on your unit control to take down the first SCVs, and then as soon as cloak kicks in, you make good use
I
of
like
this.
Banshee first because
Me too.
if you get there and you find your opponent has a Viking, then you just cancel Cloak. But he is going to go for Cloak first.
Yep.
Which delays everything. Bomber already with his starport on the way.
The Banshee is only delayed a tiny little bit though, only like 2 or 3 seconds. That's all that it takes at this point to get the additional gas so that he can produce the Banshee. And Bomber, as Wolf mentioned, is going for the starport now. His idea is going to go as fast as possible for a Viking, maybe even a Raven. But by this time, the Banshee will already be in the main base and do a fair amount of damage, given that Maru controls it correctly.
And Maru is going to expand. He's not going to be staying heavily with one base for this. He cut unit production, minus the Banshee, and will be making a command center. Well, decided to send his SU back into his main base. He may have changed his mind. In fact, okay, yeah, he's still going to make it. I was like, nah, there's no way. He cut production for too long.
Banshee is on his way. He's getting a second one immediately. The expansion for Maru is in production. He's building it right now. Here comes the Banshee. The Viking is going to be out though. Just in time, so he has to rely on his scans.
This Banshee is, yeah, you're right, he does have to rely on the scans. He's already saved up 3, and he's going to have a 4th one soon, in fact. This is not going to work. Doesn't even scan until it's necessary. He actually could trap with the Viking and the Marines.
Now perfect time, but he survives.
One shot would have done it, but the Banshee basically can no longer come in unless he repairs. Repair costs money. Banshee with only 1 Marine kill, so not a ton of damage done. Bomber has his command center first. It's actually delayed quite heavily by this Hellion, though.
That is actually really funny. He has to send a siege tank out to take the Hellion down that's blocking the position. But the second Banshee is now on route. Oh, the Hellion is dead. The second Banshee on its way. And the thing about the Banshees is even if you don't kill too many SCVs, as long as you can force a fair amount of scans, you will be kind of fine. But a couple of unit kills would be necessary. He's trying to get in here at the natural now. And there are the SCVs right now. There they are, but the Marines too. And double Viking.
Yeah, that's bad though because there's nothing to answer for the Banshee that's now going back to the main. And he's trying to decide how he wants to target this. A little bit of indecision is going to lead to him getting very few kills, just 1.
I like the unit control of Bomber here. The Banshee at the natural is still doing some damage, and I love how Maru plays this, but Bomber is actually doing quite well. He didn't lose too much yet. We have three Banshees at this point. Oh, but one of them dying, a scan sacrificed.
He mistargeted his Banshee at the main base. But he made it.
The tech lab, it's
What is
dying.
happening?
He's not repairing, he's not even trying.
Oh, you know why? Okay, so he actually, let me tell you the story of this one, Keller. Well, let's tell the story of 2 Banshees dying at once, 1 at the natural, and 1 at the main flew into a missile turret. He targeted the tech lab at first, and then he switched targets to the starport, and I bet that Bomber was like, oh, he's shooting at my starport, and then he just like looked away, and then he switched back to the tech lab. So when he saw in his base, your base is under attack, he saw a little mini-map blip, he was probably like, oh, he's just killing my starport, that's fine, it's not going to die. But he actually lost his tech lab. So that's pretty big, because he no longer has any times he can use the siege mode, especially because Maru has a 3rd base up and running. He double expanded, in fact, and is now going into Marine Tank, adding 2 additional barracks.
He's also getting additional Banshees. He lost all 3 Banshees. At this point, he has to be a little bit careful.
I don't know why he's making more. Like, they're like camping the starport at this point.
Oh, he's actually going for the assault mode here, and there's not a lot that Maru has in order to answer this. He's losing a few SCVs. A brilliant decision by Bomber. Here come the Marines, and if he plays this well, he might do some damage, but now the tank is out, and oh my god, Bomber a little bit too late with the liftoff and losing 2 Vikings.
Way too late.
Immediately.
And the Banshee harass continues in the main. He's actually going for the tech lab again. There's no way he gets the second time. Yeah, SCVs are being pulled this time.
Yeah.
But when he pulls the SCVs, it's going to allow him to target them down.
Targeting the Marines now. Is he getting away?
No.
Actually, he could. Close. Close, though.
Very close. Second Banshee is going to come in here. He's forced a lot of scans that, you know, these Banshees might actually be worth it. He's actually killed enough units, too. He's now killing more and more Marines. It's allowing him to keep his 3rd base up and keep Bomber in his main. I feel like if he had controlled his Banshees even like 30% better, it could have been like amazing for him too.
Yeah, it's just so complicated now to pull it off with 3 Banshees at a time that you used earlier to be successful with the Harris and at the same time take care of your natural and your main base. But Maru is on 3 bases now. He has 3 orbitals and he's doing a fair amount of damage with his last Banshee that he has. And, well, at the least he will be able to force another scan later on.
Yep. This is... I mean, I think he could have even done so much more if he didn't lose his Banshee to a turret, lose his Banshee to natural. Or like you said, it's really hard to control 3 Banshees. You know, you can't micro all of them, but this has actually been really, really good for Maru. I thought he was overcommitting. I thought it was going to be something that came back to bite him, but in fact, it's pushed him ahead.
Both of them with roughly the same amount of resources lost. You can see the income right now. And Maru just dropped the 2 mules. He dropped the mule hammer, and this was not actually spotted on the income tab just yet, so the income for Maru is definitely a lot better at this point.
Double eBay is coming up for Maru a little bit later, but he has more resources so he can support constant double upgrades, whereas his opponent, I believe, still only has the 1 evolution or I always know why I say those. Engineering Bay. He's just now taking his 3rd, he's making it to an orbital, and he has no scouting information whatsoever about Maru's 3rd, so this is going to allow Maru to get further and further ahead, and even exponentially so. He's just adding more barracks right now, he's got double upgrades going at once, so he's going to have 2-2 faster as well.
This really helps him quite a bit. The rocks are being destroyed now at Bomber's base, but Maru taking a lead here, as you already stated, so I really like how he plays this game. Bomber, on the other hand, with a very nice defense, but Maru still did his damage. He was not as successful as he could have been, but Bomber is still in a tough spot. He's taking a 3rd base, and it's about time, as Maru was already on 3 bases for quite a while now. With the upgrade advantage that he has, he's doing really well, and this Banshee is being a nuisance once again.
Yeah, he's never going to stop with the Banshee harass. It's one way to force your opponent back, to get ahead by being aggressive, forcing your opponent to be defensive. It's how Marine King plays. He doesn't play with Banshees like this, he plays with Marines like this usually, but I mean, it's another way to do this, and I really, really like it because it's smart.
Don't put any thoughts into Maru's head. If anything, he's the Marine Pins. We are not starting with the Banshee King. We already have a Ghost King, a Marine King, and whatever. We are not starting with the Banshee King.
Don't worry, man. I would never suggest that. Maru going to be really aggressive here. Look at how he controls Bomber's Marines positioning here. Amazing, in fact. This guy makes me speechless. He predicted the unsiege before it even happened. Did you see that? He moved in before the tanks even unsieged.
Had to move back though, but yeah, very well done. Nice prediction here by Maru, who is actually falling a little bit behind in supply right now, but they are kind of even. And still, we talked about the upgrades in favor of Maru, but he did not start +2/+2. He kind of missed the timing for his armory.
This is going to be so bloody here, running in with a ton of Marines. He has the upgrade advantage, as you mentioned. Only 2 tanks sieged, and Maru takes a huge grasp over this game.
Indeed he does. Maru with a little bit of a bad timing at the armory cannot start +2/+2, but this flank was brilliant and puts him far ahead in supply. He's even trying to chase down the rest of the units of his opponent.
He's going to get these tanks at least. Tanks cannot stem, so they cannot retreat. Nice siege up here by Bomber, knowing he has to do this, but he's just going to lose more and more.
He loses another tank. The tank count now for Maru is 8-1. 8-1 tanks in his favor.
He's got a huge amount of tanks. I think he needs to turn around, though, because his opponent has the defender's advantage and the vision advantage. He doesn't have any Vikings with this. He's going to continue pushing through, and I guess it's going to work out okay for him.
He has 8 tanks to 1 still and started the +2 attack upgrade. He's ahead in upgrades. He's sieging
Bomber
onto the low
desperately
ground.
moving out with his SCVs now.
Oh, I don't like it. Bomber is stopping in supply. Maru might be able to kick Bomber out of the competition. Bomber at 80 supply against 140. It looks like
more Marines
Bomber
coming
is
in
down
here.
to Code A.
You're right, man. More Marines coming in here. GG. I thought Maru was going to just do the safer thing and attack the 3rd base, but he said no. I am never going to stop attacking you. I am the Marine Prince.
And Maru with 3 wins and 1 loss. Bomber is out. He's down to Code A.
And Maru in his game against Curious was defeated. So that means that if Curious ties with him, then Curious will advance instead if there's a 3-way tie, but if they both are tied, no one else can match their score, then obviously they'll both advance.
Curious against Live. Well, at this point, next game is going to be Curious Live. This is actually also one of the games that we could push to the back a little bit, but of course the players have to prepare for the matches, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to just tell them, okay, listen, we changed the order, and now we changed it again because this happened, and now you have to play. Oh, you didn't warm up yet? Yeah, we are very sorry, but we don't care. We don't do that, therefore we stick to our order. We have Curious against Alive. This is going to be the next game. And it's a similar situation to what we just saw. If Curious is going to take this, then he won't have to play today anymore because he has 4 wins and there's no question that he will advance to Codas. If an Alive will be out. If Alive wins though, then Alive will be on 2-2 and Curious will be on 3-1 tied with Maru. So still in a very good spot, but suddenly he could be in some kind of weird 3-way tie.
Yeah, so, I mean, anything can still happen here.
Yeah.
But the only thing that can't happen is Bomber advancing. That's all that can.
Bomber is out. Bomber is definitely out of the competition. He will play in Korea next season. And the last 5 remaining players who are fighting for the spots in Kodas are Alive, Finn, Curious, Puzzle, and Maru. So
with
the next
Maru and Curious definitely the heads of the group right now.
Yes, indeed. So at this point we have Entombed Valley coming up with a Zerg versus Terran as Curious is going to battle Alive.
With how Alive has been playing today and how Curious has played as well, I think Curious might secure a 4-0 here.
It's definitely possible. Curious played very well. And the one thing that I would, if I was in the booth right now and I would talk to Alive, I would say, Alive, listen up. No double barracks.
Yeah. Definitely. I don't think we're going to see that.
He defeated against 2 double barracks already today, and well, this is actually exactly the map where Alive used the double barracks against Lenok.
Yep. We saw that last week. Well, the match is about to start. I thought it was starting now. That is. The game hasn't started, but the match starting music has started. I'm like, what are they trying to do? They're tricking me, man. I'm tired of being on a flight all day, but like, we're gonna come back for a second.
Hey guys, we're back.
I'm like, who's gonna win between Caldor and Wolf? And like, we both like go like this and like start to fight each other. But who do you think's gonna win this one?
I don't want to insult you, but that would be a short one.
Oh, maybe. I don't know, man. You don't know. I haven't actually hidden my magical abilities from you. What if like? What if actually
your magical ability? Okay.
What if I have like telekinetic powers I haven't shown you yet, and like I only use them in life-threatening situations, and I just destroy you? What if that happened, man? You're underestimating your opponent from the start.
It's actually a huge mistake. You're going for the wushu finger thingy from Kung Fu Panda.
No, man. Just like I just like think, and you like get thrown into the ceiling, or like thrown through the floor. Or like I make you drink like really disgusting coffee or something, and I'm controlling your arms. You're like, oh, this
you mean like
coffee
the
is a little
orange
bit too
juice
sweet.
that you had to endure during your flight?
Yeah, I drink orange juice. Korean Air is great today, by the way.
Yeah,
but
Korean Air is awesome.
I had so much more space than I did on any Delta flight I've had, and we'll say that. But everything was fine. I actually was sitting next to MVP Dream and Alicia. They were on my left and my right, and I was just sitting there. Everything was great. Alicia and I were talking to each other, you know, about StarCraft, talking about the trip in general.
Don't worry, the disgusting part is to start right now.
And then, they offered me this piece of bread that had meat inside of it, which I had on my previous Korean Air flight coming to Korea. So I was like, all right, this is pretty good. And they offered orange juice with it just as before. Now I drank this orange juice, okay, and everything was fine. But an hour later, my stomach started hurting like really badly, and I was like, do I have gas? I'm like, what is happening? And then I proceeded to repeatedly have to wake up MVP Dream so I could go to the bathroom and throw up. So it was a pretty horrible flight for me. I spent probably at least an hour in total in the bathroom, maybe more. I'm not sure, but it was a rough flight. But I'm here. I'm fine.
Was it actually
okay.
a vodka O or?
It was just plain orange juice, man. I'm serious.
Okay, if Live just disconnected from the lobby.
Yeah, I don't know why.
He might have a problem with his gear. I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll find out what's going to happen in a second. Hopefully I get re-invited. I should probably actually go back in.
Yeah.
I was like, the Live left. I'm like, well, if the Live's not playing, I'm out. And I just got out of that lobby.
Okay, apparently you are playing now.
Yeah.
Are you confident with Terran against Curious?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to put my health at 50%. Actually, we play as Protoss, though.
5th percent go.
They took me out.
Yeah, Curious has just dodged. We would have seen an epic match between Wolf and Curious, but I can understand that Curious is afraid there.
Yeah, I understand.
I would be.
Yeah, he should be. But I'm glad I'm back. You know, I'm not as tired as I thought I would be after getting on a plane. This is the second time I've done this. Last time, though, I came from Sweden, and it was a shorter flight, and it was 2 separate flights, so I had a lot more time to rest. And I just jumped right off and came into cast. And I remember I was talking with you about this right before. You were like, Wolf, don't do it. That doesn't make sense. What if the flight's late? You can't make it. I was like,
flight actually arrived ahead of schedule, didn't it? I saw your tweet when you arrived, and it was before.
It was at. I don't know what my flight was scheduled to arrive, but it arrived at 4:30. I think you're right. I think it was a little bit ahead of schedule.
Because originally you told me that you will be at the airport at 5 o'clock, and I'm like, there is no way you're getting to the studio in time. But that worked out quite well.
Yeah, the immigration line was actually really long, but I was able to.
It always is.
I was able to get through really fast after that. Like, nobody stopped me, man.
They always stop me every single time.
Why?
Look at me.
Do you speak Korean to them or English to them?
English. The thing is, every single time I go to Germany, for example, and I have to go through immigration, and then you basically try and move out, the guys are already smiling at me and like, yeah, you know it. I'm like, nah, it's okay. That happened to me the last 2 times that I went to Germany, and like, so could we please check your bag? And I'm like, again.
Yeah,
I need another haircut.
You got your Hitman gear in there, man.
Yeah.
They know it.
I definitely need another haircut. I didn't even wear my red tie, so they couldn't actually tell that I'm Hitman.
Yeah, that's really weird, man. I don't know how they could tell.
Yeah. Well, Alive is back. Alive is back in the lobby now.
By the way, on my flight to New York, I sat next to Lucira. And I was sitting next to him, and I was like, all right, whatever. There's a Korean sitting next to me, you know, like that's normal. I'm leaving Korea. It was on my flight to Narita to Tokyo, and I looked over at just his phone, like at glancing, and I was like, he's looking at Wikipedia on his phone. I'm like, he's looking at the brackets for MLG. I was like, who is this guy? So I asked him like, who are you? I'm like, are you a pro gamer? And he's like, yeah, I'm Lucira. And I was like, but your haircut's so normal. Like, it's not a different color. It's pretty short. It looks well kept right now. This can't be true. He looked so normal, man. I couldn't even believe it.
You were disappointed?
I was disappointed. I asked him why he changed it, and he just laughed. I'm like, well, okay, I guess this is what you're going to do. Well, we're seriously starting now. The countdown is going. The map, again, is in Tomb Valley. Curious, I think, the clear favorite here. We've seen Alive do great in the past. He's kind of on the up and up recently, but Curious in this group so far has looked unbeatable.
Alive has played well against NST at Iron Squid, but now he's up against Curious, and today, right, Alive did not really look on top of his game, so we might see Curious take a 4-0 and advance to Goddess. Match is going to start right now. Curious against Alive. GSL up and downs. Called on Wolf.